Colgate. Mouthwash. Fresh.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ServiceMonster Podcast. Joe is out today and will be out sporadically over the next few weeks as well, since he's getting ready to put on his dad hat and welcome a new addition to his family. So the podcast in the interim when he's not here will be myself and Javi, kind of doing the ServiceMonster update, SMUG posts, and things like that. So kind of quick and dirty while Joe's not here.
All right, let's knock this out.
Yeah. What's new, Javi?
Oh, man, a lot of things are new. But, well, first off, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And we all have a mom, right? Or a mom figure in our lives.
Right.
What are you doing this weekend?
Well, my mom's back in Colorado, so I'm going to send her a nice card, have a conversation with her, make sure that she, has something. My brother will probably be taking her out to a meal or something like that. But
nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
How about you?
I got my mom flowers earlier this week, and I don't know, maybe I don't like waiting until Mother's Day to get my mom stuff, so
just surprise her a day early.
Yeah, just surprise her a day early. And I'm Mexican, so we have it on a different day, so it's like the day before too. So,
there you go.
Or after, I don't know.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Obviously. Yeah, so let's get down to it. So this week, we actually had a hot fix that went out yesterday on the 9th to address some of the issues that showed up from last week's release. And what were some of those issues that we solved or resolved?
Yeah, so one of the big ones, there was a lot of feedback on this pretty much instantly. The daily totals are back. They properly show at the top of the schedule. Mm-hmm. So everyone who had that issue, we do apologize for the headache there for a few days, but that has been resolved in the hotfix. There were some time issues on the schedule. Basically, it was showing AM, whether it was in the morning or the evening, for both activities and jobs. And that had to do with some changes that were made to localize those time and date stamps for some of our Australian customers and things like that.
Right.
And just got some unintended consequences on the schedule there. But that was fixed as well. The quick add schedule load times was addressed.
Good.
Aaron and I actually did some work on that, some testing on that early this week, figured out what the issue was. We were able to push it out relatively quickly. And then there are a few other odds and ends, and the full list will be on the blog.
We appreciate everybody's patience. And let's get down to SMUG. David asked, it's strange how the technician app works so much better than the actual ServiceMonster app for editing a work order specifically. And he also mentioned he's using Android. And Joe did drop in a comment in there. Do you want to go ahead and share what he replied to David?
Yeah, so the reason this one kind of caught my attention, first and foremost, Joe's comment was, we're releasing Mobile Pro soon. And that's based on the same flows and technology. And really what I wanted to say is just kind of the feedback from the technician app on the job process, when you're actually doing the work, has definitely been one of the main points of the design on the new Mobile Pro app, because we got a lot of positive feedback from that and wanted to kind of take that even polish it further and really make it so that particular process on the job is handled as efficiently as possible for you or your technicians.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet. All right, so Bruno was asking, we need a column with the notification campaign name because he doesn't know what is what. And yeah, he's looking at the reminders notification list specifically.
Yeah, so this one, a feature request from Bruno. And the reason why this one caught my eye was we've actually talked about this on the Drip Campaign podcast we did a few weeks ago, and how you can take these job reminders and you can have them do a bunch of different functions, both before and after a job.
And after, a lot of people don't know after too.
Yeah. And so Bruno has a lot of those set up. So a lot of people might just have maybe a 24-hour and maybe a 3 or 4 day ahead of time job to make sure they can kind of remind people, especially if they're booked out a few weeks.
Exactly.
Bruno's got a whole lot of these pending notifications.
He has a ton.
Yeah. So
that's a good thing.
Yes, it is a good thing as long as he's not kind of overdoing it for the customer's point of view. But they're all for different purposes, and it's difficult to tell which of those is which. So if he's trying to cancel one or kind of, move things around and make sure that something went out properly,
Exactly.
it's difficult to kind of tell. So it's a really nice feature request. Brenda got it tracked. And so thank you, Bruno.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Bruno. That was a good insight. And Brenda was asking, not our Brenda, but ServiceMonster user Brenda. I cannot save service items. The save button isn't working when adding service items. And what was she talking about there?
Yeah, and Brenda actually put a whole kind of video recording on. And we've had a couple of users who do that. And just so you guys know, if that process is smooth, it's actually a really good way to showcase exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
And it can be a lot easier sometimes than doing 3, 4, 5 different screenshots. Yeah. So
they say like a picture's worth 1,000 words and the video's worth like 1,000 pictures.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Main reason I wanted to bring this to attention was a lot of people, I think, don't necessarily know what service items are. We've mentioned this a couple of times in SMUG now. But I think this was another good opportunity to kind of say, if you're dealing with square footage, if you're dealing with linear footage, even if all you want to do is just kind of keep track of different parts of a house that you might be doing, like pressure washing wise, you can handle all that in the service items area on an order. And I'm not going to go into detail on a podcast because we have videos on that. And
you can go to servicemonster.net/onboarding for that one.
Yeah, and we'll have a video linked when this comes out to kind of showcase that.
Okay.
But you can actually do the calculations for the square footage or whatever pricing you're doing. And as long as you have it formulated or formatted, I should say, in an actual math equation, 6x 14x 5.
Right.
Etc.
X meaning multiply.
Exactly.
Right.
As long as you have it like that, it'll actually calculate the entire quantity. You can then tie that to an actual line item. So you have of your rooms or whatever you're cleaning, square footage is calculated, tie it to your line item. You can even pull over the names of each room that you did.
Exactly. And put a picture to them too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brenda does hers a little bit differently. And I think actually we'll probably have a conversation with her to see kind of where the issue might be. But it seems to be because she's putting alphanumeric info into her calculation. So
like
she's
letters
saying
and words.
Right.
Yeah.
So rather than just the numbers themselves, it's like, the west wall is 6, the north wall is 9, the east wall is this, and so on. So it's not going to be able to do the calculation properly.
Exactly. Yeah, alphanumeric, man, that was a big word. So I had a, if it's too hard to pronounce, it's fancy. So that's my.
I don't know if alphanumeric is hard to pronounce, but I definitely.
Well, it's a lot of syllables, man.
It is a lot of syllables.
Not everybody is as smart as you. Well, but yeah, and you can also put what is what in the description of that service item.
Yep. So
if you want to get detailed like that, and the program can't calculate that because you have alphanumerical things in there, then you can put that in the description to go even deeper. But just let the math be the math there, so it can do what it needs to do.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Thanks for kind of bringing that home, Javi.
Yeah, man. My pleasure.
So thanks as always to our SMUG users. Really, honestly, guys, like your collaboration with each other has been great. There were some great posts in there helping each other out with the possible kind of tablets and things like that. They're really showcasing the power behind communication and feedback.
Yeah.
So we always appreciate that.
Greatly appreciated.
We'll see you guys next week. Possibly Joe will be back there. Otherwise, Javi and I will spend another week with you guys.
Tag team again, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Hope you have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Justin. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, we always appreciate that long clap.